I was told by one of our band members just before I got up on stage that he was warned that he had a hate symbol on the Zoom call during a meeting at his work. The hate symbol that was in his cubicle behind him was what? A cross. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego moment. We are almost at the point where the flames will be turned up. You will lose your job. You will be kicked out of your community. You will be asked to leave. You will be treated as a pariah because you belong to the Most High God, and you don't do what so many other churches and Christians are doing. You don't compromise this word. You don't find a loophole to gut with the flow. You stand on Christ, the solid rock, because you know that all other ground is sinking sand. And to those of you who belong to the LGBT movement, the fact that you're still in this audience today astounds me. Thank you for being here. We love you with the love of Jesus. But the love of Jesus demands that we say things that are true, that are right, that are healthy for you. So what do we see in Daniel chapter 3? We see what real Nebuchadnezzar moments look like, and I want to unpack this for you in 5 points, and then we're done. Point number 1, write this down. The world system demands conformity. What are we seeing? We're seeing nothing new. We are seeing nothing new. We are seeing the hatred that Joseph's brothers exhibited toward him when they cast him into a pit and threw him into sold him into slavery. We're seeing the hatred of the Philistines who filled in Abraham's wells when they saw how blessed and called Abraham was. We're seeing the hatred and vitriol of the Egyptians against the Israelites. When God's people were raised up, the devil's people got fed up. We're seeing the same story that Scripture repeats again and again and again. They called Noah a lunatic. They thought Daniel was out of line. They considered Moses a braggart. And those men's names are hallowed in the halls of faith today. But in the time in which they stand, they were vilified and they were ostracized and they were negated. And you have to understand that history has done that since Jesus Christ rose from the dead. They hated Peter, James, and John. They cast him into prison. Paul was chased from town to town, was hated, was whipped, was stoned, was left for dead, had to escape cities, being let down in a basket through ropes. This man ran for his life at every turn. He was shipwrecked. He was in the sea for a day and a night. This man had everybody against him, and the whole world hated him when he walked on the earth. But today we read his words at almost every single wedding on the planet, because just because they were hated in their generation doesn't mean they weren't accepted in heaven's world. And you got to learn, friend, at some point you've got to learn to stand for Christ, regardless of what people think about you, what they say about you. If you have a desperate desire to be liked, it's betraying the reality that you have a desperate need to be loved. And the love that you are looking for cannot be found in the world that you live in. It can only be found in the God who made the world. The God who sent his son to die for the world. The God who truly loves the world.